I was the perfect daughter until I said no. I always did what I was told, from ballet recitals to straight A's. I lived for their praise. I was the girl with the perfect smile in every Christmas card, the golden child that mothers compared their daughters to. I never gave them a reason to worry, never rebelled, never asked for more than I was given. My parents didn't raise me with hugs or I love yous. They raised me with expectations. My mother believed in appearances, clean house, clean language, clean reputation, and I was the accessory she polished the most. When I was young, I didn't mind. I thought love looked like rules and rewards, but as I got older, that love began to feel more like control. It started with college applications. I dreamed of studying psychology. I had this quiet passion for understanding people's pain, for healing what couldn't be seen. But my mother had other plans. She wanted law, prestige, power, something she could tell her friends about. You can always take psychology as an elective, but a law degree, that means something. I nodded, like I always did. So I did what I was told. I enrolled in pre-law. I buried myself in books I didn't care about. I started waking up with anxiety in my chest, but I smiled through it. I dated who they approved of, joined the right clubs. I even cut off my best friend because my mother said she was a bad influence. By 22, I had the resume of someone going places, but inside, I felt like a hollow version of myself. Then came the engagement. Not mine, my cousin Amanda's. Her fiancé was a doctor. They met at church, and suddenly I became the next project. You're almost 25, Mom said. Don't you want to get married before it's too late? Too late for what? She arranged for me to meet Daniel. Tall, clean-cut, finance guy. Perfect on paper. Zero chemistry, but he made my parents beam. We dated for 6 months. He never laughed at my jokes. He called my dream of being a therapist cute. And still, I stayed until he proposed in front of my parents. I froze. I looked into his eyes and saw a future where I was miserable, but perfectly curated. And for the first time in my life, I said it, no. The room went silent. Then my mother laughed. You're joking. I wasn't. I got up and walked away. She followed me into my room. The woman who'd never cried in front of me had tears in her eyes, but not sadness, rage. After everything we've done for you, you selfish, ungrateful girl. She told me I'd embarrass the family, that Daniel had already told his parents, that I had no idea how life worked, how the real world would chew me up, that I was throwing away security. My father didn't speak. He just sat with his arms crossed. The next day, I packed a bag and left. I didn't even know where I was going, just that I needed to breathe. It took me months to find my footing. I moved in with a friend from college. I enrolled in a master's program for counseling. I started therapy for myself. For the first time ever, I asked what I wanted. It wasn't easy. I had to work part-time jobs to afford tuition. I ate ramen, not restaurant dinners. But every night, I went to sleep knowing I chose this. I stopped answering my mother's calls for a while. Her voicemails ranged from guilt-tripping to begging to icy silence. It took her a year to finally say, "You've changed." She didn't mean it kindly, but I took it as a compliment. Now I help people who are just like me, trapped in silent suffering, shaped by others' expectations. I run workshops for adult children of controlling parents. I write, I speak, I live. My mom and I still talk, but there's distance now, not out of resentment, out of necessity. We're not the same. I stopped trying to be perfect for her and started being real for me. And here's the truth. I still love her, but I don't live for her anymore. Let's talk about it. I know some people think family comes before everything. That saying no is selfish. But if I hadn't said it, I would have lost myself completely. Was I wrong for walking away? Should I have stayed for the sake of respect? Or did I finally do the right thing? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious. What would you have done?